Today I want to play in my new XL art journal inspired by my dear friend Petra. I will link her channel down below. I'm so happy with this journal so far. So there is a playlist underneath this video where you can find the making of not only the cover but also how I put together these 4 signatures. Also, you will find a freebie of this cover without all the things that I've added to it, but the original cover is there for you as a freebie. You can find that linked below as well. So how do you start working in an art journal? That can be quite daunting because we haven't done anything here yet, right? So where to start? I think this is going to be different for everybody. My intention for this art journal is to be playful, to use a lot of colors combined with vintage, combined with fabrics and all the things, whatever I feel like doing in the moment. I want to be very free and loose in this journal as much as that is possible for a perfectionist. So I'm just going to leaf through here and spontaneously decide on which page to start with. And actually, I think I want to start with this one right here. As you can see, I have not bound the pages yet. Oh, there's a thing in here I did not even notice. Van Gogh. Okay. So I haven't bound these pages yet because I thought it would be easier to work on these individually, although I am a huge fan of working in bound journals. It's such a different feeling, so I'm always very indecisive about that. But for now, I'm going to, let's just take out this first signature. Let's put this to the side. You know, I might want to sew on some pages, and of course that is not easily possible once the pages are bound. So the first thing I see when I look at this is I have dark images here. I'm not very fond of this image. I have this dark tape, so I want to lighten up the page a bit. First thing that comes to mind is to use some white gesso. So I'm just going to use my brayer. Oh wow, this is a lot of gesso. Okay, not to worry, because obviously we can also spread this onto other pages. I don't want to cover the whole page. So where else can we add some gesso? Okay, how about here? So in an art journal, you should not mind to get messy, I guess. That comes with the journal. So let me quickly dry this. Okay, we're all dry. You could, of course, be very methodical about this and first cover all of your pages with gesso, or the ones that you want to cover anyway. But that seems kind of boring to me. So I will just do that as I go and be spontaneous. Seems more fun. And since I haven't worked so long in an art journal, I feel like I'm not confident enough to just jump into making something artsy. So to get me inspired, I'm going to use some of my previous art. So I have this here, for example. These are printouts of some mandalas that I made in an old art journal. I will link this for you below. I made these in the summer of 2016. And I will show you the original source because this journal, which is an art journal, inspired me so much, and I think I can find a lot of inspiration in this. I loved this journal to pieces. I tried finding this again after I had filled this, but I couldn't anymore. It says handmade in Italy. I found this in one of my local stationery stores. They didn't have it anymore, and I was so sad. I had the best time. I didn't even put the dates here. I had the best time in this journal. So let me show you where these came from. So this one here is actually this one. The colors have changed a little bit, unfortunately, through the scanning and digitalizing process. I do like the original better, but still, this is cute. I can reuse this as much as I want. I love the combination with the writing. I used to write a lot more than I do now, so that's something else I'm inspired to do more of. Then we have this one here, which is this one. Again, it's a lot more blue than greenish turquoise. We see July 2016. And then we also have this one here, which this one is enlarged and half of it basically. And this one says, live your dream, believe, 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 dream, dream, dream. And this one says, live, love, laugh. And this one also says, live, love, laugh, which is also what this term here says. And that's one of my favorite sentiments ever, as you can tell. What I loved about this one is I tried so many different things and I made so many different mandalas. Here's another one. Then I realized I kind of got bored with just making mandalas on the plain paper. So I added some collaging on the background, then added my mandalas on those. I added art from other people. Here you see there's more of a background here. So I got more brave. I love these pages. Did many more mandalas. I was obsessed with the mandalas. I still am, but I haven't done them in such a long time. I feel completely rusty. There's one thing I would like to read to you because I just stumbled upon this and it really cracks me up. By the way, I love this sun. This was 2018. Really love how that one came out. I would not dare to draw at the moment. I don't know. I just feel like it's not in me at the moment, but I did a lot of that during that time. Let's just see. Oh yeah, here. So on this page, I wrote, experimenting with patterns and color combinations with my new paint markers. Okay, so that's that. That's very fun. But then I wrote here, this was January 2017. Over the last week while I was home with the flu, so that was where I was working in the American school, in the high school office, I was working on hand lettering in a small sketchbook. I read that it takes years to get really good at it and it takes practice every single day and a lot of dedication. Well, we know that's not going to happen. Yeah, so that was typical for me. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Her eyes, why are her eyes so huge? Otherwise, I don't even think she's that terrible, but those eyes, oh my goodness, eyes are really hard. See how I was just playing in here and having a great time. Oh, I don't like this at all. Yeah. So, fun times. Oh, there's another mandala. So I don't want to fill this new art journal up with mandalas, but it is one of the things I'd like to incorporate. And since I don't feel like I have the patience to make one now, let's just use one I've already made. And I was thinking, rather than just cutting this whole thing out, which of course I could do, I want to have it a little bit smaller. So I will cut it here where the blue petals are and just cut around those. So I would very much like to encourage you, if you have your own art in previous journals, why not copy it, scan it, copy it if you have the opportunity. You can also just take a photo and print that. Then you have your own art, which is so much fun. I love recycling and repurposing art. And maybe that will also get you inspired to be more artsy if that's what you want and you don't really know where to start. You never know where this journey is going to take you, right? But I think it's so fun to just sit down and play. You have no specific agenda other than just enjoying your me time, forgetting all of the problems that we have to deal with day to day, all the boring stuff, all the adulting we need to do on a day-by-day basis. Oh my goodness. Just be in the moment. I know these sessions, for me, I always come out of them feeling very content, feeling very peaceful. Because you're making so many small decisions about, you know, your pages and what to put where and which color to choose and which size and all these little mini decisions that you can't really concentrate on other stuff. You can't feel sad about things in your life because you're in the moment, you know what I mean? Obviously, you could cut this, of course, in half and then have it be like a corner tuck spot. But I want this here. Yeah, and I like it a lot better in this size. This adds so much color. I will ink up these edges because I did cut away most of the black liner that I had. Do I have any idea what the end result of this page is going to look like? Nope, not in the least. As usual, I'm doing baby steps. So once I have this positioned, I will decide how to move forward because everything else is overwhelming. And there's already too many things in life that are overwhelming. Art should not be one of them, in my opinion. So I love this as a tuck spot. So I do want to glue that down here on this side. And what I'm thinking now is what we could easily do, you know, rather than starting our own mandala, we could just continue a little bit with this one. I am just thinking whether to glue it down first. No, I won't. So I'll take a pencil and then I will trace these petals onto my page so I know where they are. And now I can just draw more petals because that I can definitely do. I feel confident enough to do that. Very therapeutic. It's just the same shape over and over. And let's do one more. So then I can start coloring, and I'm actually going to also color these first petals, which I've traced from here. And I'll try to use a similar color. This is, I think, as close as I'm going to get to this. So these are Tombow markers. They are water soluble. I always blended these with water, so I just add a little bit. But of course, now it really helps that I added the gesso underneath because this will blend a lot better. If I would have done this straight on the book page, that would not have worked well. So now I'll just take a water brush and blend these out. I'm not very worried about going outside of the lines. We will clean this up with black marker afterwards. So just being loose. So this will be the one that goes underneath because of course, since this is a tuck spot and this is going to lift a bit, I don't want to see the white underneath. I want to see blue. So next, I think we need some pink. Let's see which one would work better. It's either this one or this one. Yeah, definitely this lighter one. So same thing. I'm not going to color it all the way up to the top of the petal. Kind of takes you back to being a kid again when we used to color in coloring books. Do any of you have adult coloring books? Did you ever get into that? Are you still doing it? Do you enjoy it? Is it therapeutic? Because that's something I've never tried. So I've cleaned my brush and again, just going to fan this out. This does not fan as well as the blue did. Look at that. It takes more effort to blend it so that I don't have this line there. I have to say, I've had these Tombow markers for at least 8 years, if not longer, and they are as good as new. They have not dried out. I store them horizontally. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I am impressed by how well they still work. So next we need some yellow. I think I'll go with this one. Oh, that is very dark. I also have this one. That would work better. So same as before. I think this one is very easy to blend. Wow, this is not a color combination I would usually go for. The cool thing with this method is you can be as messy as you want, and you can fix all of it once you add your water. Be sure to clean your brush before you use a different color. Maybe don't do it on your page. Yeah, this blends really easily. This is great. And if you don't have blendable markers, obviously you can use something like water-soluble colored pencils, wax pastels, or even things like distress oxides and inks. You could just put some on your desk, add some water, and use a paintbrush. Watercolors obviously would work, acrylic paints would work. Options are endless. So this is now dry, and I'll take my black fine liner. This is a 0.3, and I'll just go around my petals, and that way we're cleaning up all the mess that we created before. But I don't like this to be precise either, so I want this kind of sloppy. Yeah, I like going around it twice actually to make it more messy. It's more artsy that way, I think. Did I do that here? I did not. Here I just have single lines. That's okay. We don't have to do it the same way. I'm also not worried about the pencil lines showing underneath. Just adds to the artsy, sketchy feeling. And finally, we'll just add these scribbly lines in the middle. Does not get much simpler than this. So now we can put this here. And I just like the fact that we have a tuck spot here, and if we put something underneath, we kind of are putting it in between the flower. So let's glue this on. It's great if you can print this out on cardstock or back it with cardstock before you cut it out. This is a bit flimsy. This is only 110 GSM, which is not great for a tuck spot. Yeah, and I like that we have the blue underneath. Then I want to add a large eyelet. Maybe in gold. Oh yeah, I like the gold. And of course we need to add something to this eyelet. What could we use? We could of course add a charm. We could also just add a piece of fabric. So I found one of these pieces that I tore off one of the Tim Holtz fabrics. And I love that it says Free Spirit here, because this of course is the company that produces the fabrics. Because Free Spirit works so well with the bohemian theme, doesn't it? And an art journal where we just want to play. That all kind of fits together. So let's cut some off. I'm hoping that I can put it in so that the Free Spirit is actually legible. Okay, this is not working. How do you do this? I'm not sure where to cut it. So 3 hours later, I managed this. We can see spirit, we can't see free. I'm giving up on this. My patience is worn thin. I also tore this a little bit here. But we can fix that. So we will simply add some washi tape, which we don't use enough anyway. So we are embracing this opportunity. We're definitely going to add some glue on it because these don't stick very well. And by the way, if you feel intimidated to work in a large art journal, you could also work in a small one, like this one here. I haven't worked in this for a while now. I have a whole series on working in this one. So if you would like some uncut videos with rambling, where you see me work in this one, then please check out the playlist linked below. I do like this one a lot, but it's also fun to switch up the scale once in a while. It's actually a few days later, and I had stopped working on this page because I just kind of drew a blank. I didn't know what to do with it anymore. I'm so not happy with this being so flimsy. It doesn't work for me as a tuck spot. So looking at this now with fresh eyes, I made a decision. First, I'm going to glue this part onto this page. And now I'm going to cut this whole mandala out because this page is nice and sturdy. Let me first tear this off. And then I'll just cut around these petals. That's the nice thing of working in a journal. If you're not happy with it, just change it. There's no rules. Well, the only rule I would give myself is to be happy with the outcome and to enjoy the process, because otherwise, what's the point? This I will leave for now as it is. I can add something to it later. So let's find a page to add our tuck spot on, maybe this one here. So I just sewed along the edge here. And now I can just glue that on. And the funny thing is now we have, I think, the size pretty much that we had at the beginning, which we first cut down. And we're now back to that size. Now we have a sturdier tuck spot. Maybe you remember we had this napkin. I considered this for the cover. I think the colors go really well with this mandala. So we could just place him there. How about that? So I will just go around the image with my water brush. And then I'll take my Liquitex gel matte and go over my surface. The white on white, of course, blends in beautifully. So once it's dry, I can just cut this off here at the edge. I love how that blended in. You cannot see the edges at all. And then I also have this piece of napkin, and I think this one would be very cute down here actually. This one is off-white, so we'll see how well that integrates into our background. Oops, lost a flower. Okay, maybe we can add that. So here's a closer look once it has dried. So it actually blended in quite well into the background. It's so amazing what you can actually do with napkins. I do think this text is a bit much here, so I'm going to try to blend that in a little bit better using some gesso. And I'll do it with my fingers just because I feel like I have more control that way. So I'll just go around the images. That just pushes this very stark black font into the background a little bit without losing it completely. Next, I'm going to add some splatters in Picket Raspberry. Let's add some water. Okay, and of course now we have all of this deliciousness. And we have this page with some white gesso on it, so why not just add some of this to the page. And since we have more left over, no, not on this one. Let's add some here. Don't want to waste that. And then I want to do the same thing with mustard seed. This is such a nice, summery, juicy yellow. And again, I'll take this page, which I have dried in the meantime, and let's add this. And on this one as well. So these now give us a nice start for future pages. Great if you're afraid of the blank page. So lastly, I want to add a sentiment here. So this says, creating freely is the purest form of expression where imagination knows no boundaries and every idea has the power to come to life. How special is it that we can have something in our head that we can make come to life in a journal? It's actually totally mind-blowing. So that's my page for this time. This is a great start for another day. I'll figure out what to do with this at some point. Let me know if you want to see more of these pages that I'm doing, or whether you just want to see a flip through of the final journal. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.